As the defense in the Caysee Anthony trial begins presenting its case, questions continue to come up about the bizarre dynamics between Caysee and her lawyer, Jose Baez. Here to talk about it are Bethany Marshall, psychoanalyst and a marriage and family therapist, and Debra Opri, defense attorney. Ladies, this is so odd. Caysee seems to be acting, first of all, let's start with this one. Caysee seems to be acting as Baez's paralegal in court. She's taking notes, she's filing papers. I mean, who does that? Go ahead.
I think that he should have rigorously taught her from the get-go. They did it with Michael Jackson. You sit there, you hold your hands, fold it, and you look down or look straight ahead or take notes, but I don't need an assistant. So this is client control issues that I would be very concerned about.
Well, there's more to this story because Caysee and Baez have often been seen tete-a-tete in court. And, you know, some say they're acting flirtatiously with each other.
In her own mind, she's like the ringleader in the circus of filth. That's what she is.
Well, if we step away from her and look from his viewpoint, he is an attorney who, for whatever reason, is feeling very protective of her. I think he should rightfully assume an advocate's role and don't diminish his standing as her advocate, as her defense attorney on any level. And hugging her and touching her, there are rules in court. You have a mode of decorum, and he's got to really keep himself in check because I know he's nervous. He's in the public eye. He's handling one of the larger defense cases now, but he's got to really keep himself in check and keep that decorum all the way through, or his experience and his judgment are going to be seriously questioned.
And if he flirts back, if he appeals to her narcissism, then she'll be more under control. In a way, when I deal with people who have a criminal attitude...
You're using words of sociopath, criminality, narcissist. These are all words that the media and the professionals have labeled her. But, you know, this is a girl who basically is in his jurisdiction now. She's in a courtroom, and there are rules. There are ways to conduct yourself, and he should have set the parameters, and I don't think he did.
Okay, wait, ladies, listen to this. There have been rumors that Caysee and Baez had a sexual relationship when she was previously out on bond. Okay? Do you think that's possible?
Rumors.
Deborah?
Rumors.
Rumors, yeah. Well, listen, I'll read you what it says. Let me read you a couple of things. Prison staff reprimanded Baez, who repeatedly for hugging Caysee during jailhouse visits. Well, that could be just fatherly, I guess. This one really is too much. They reportedly shared a piece of licorice through a hole in the glass partition, like Lady and the Tramp. What's up with that? Who does that with a client?
There's no admissions that there is an intimate relationship, but again, his conduct is questionable. He hasn't drawn a line in the sand. And if he's feeling very comfortable with her, very protective over here, you know, the reality is he has got to keep himself in check. And as far as her conduct goes, her conduct is according to how he controls her, and this is the way it's got to be.
So what happens when two narcissists get together? We saw this with Anna Nicole Smith and Howard Stern. They fluff each other up.
What happens when a lawyer wants to get a job? Bethany, listen. What happens when an attorney gets a gig? He gets a high-profile exposure for potential future business, and he takes on a case. We don't know how he's being paid, how much, if he's being paid, and he takes on a case. I don't see it, because I choose not to see it as two narcissists. I see it as a somewhat inexperienced attorney in terms of controlling clients, and I see it as a client who has serious issues.
Okay, well, you're the lawyer.
That's how I see it.
You're the lawyer, Deborah, so what if he was sleeping with her? What does that say about him as her lawyer?
If he is sleeping with her during his period of representation, it is actionable by the state bar. There's been no evidence of it. I'm not even going to take a step and accuse him of it.
We're not accusing.
If he had a relationship, and I didn't suggest you did, Joy, but if he had a relationship with her prior to this representation, the bottom line is he wasn't representing her during it, but he's never admitted it. So we have a lot of conjecture, but right now, I, as an attorney, am looking at what's going on inside the courtroom, and I think she should look forward and be quiet.
Okay. So you think, Deborah, that Baez is using Caysee to make a name for himself, and that's what that conversation sounds like he's implying?
Joy, just because Lee says it's so, it ain't make it so. You know, the bottom line is whatever Lee is telling his sister, that's his opinion. But an attorney is always going to tell the client, because that's his job, you are my first priority. And the priority is proving his client is not guilty. As far as him saying my concern is for your daughter, you know, that sounds good, but he is an advocate. As far as the brother saying he's all out for himself, well, we don't know if Baez took this case on a zero payment or minimal.
Pro bono,
we do
I
know
heard.
that he's... Yeah, well,
Deb,
he's working his...
can I say...
He's working his... Let me finish. He's working his tush off to get her off, and I admire the work he's putting in. I just don't know.
By the way, this guy Baez, interestingly enough, has a very checkered past himself. I mean, I don't know how that enters into the conversation.
Oh, I'm going to talk about that.
Well, we
I
don't
think
have time,
it does,
but
Joy, because that's... Joy, that's why I talked about co-narcissism, because he didn't pay child support payments,
right?
And you have the rest of the news. But so that's why you can think
an
of
attorney. They licensed
narcissism and overlooking each other's criminality.
He is a licensed attorney now.
Okay, ladies, thank you so much for a lively conversation, and we'll be right back.